Okay, so welcome back to another Chris the Fish Show 3 video. In this one, I'm going to be moving the gouramis over from the Rena 400 over to the Roma 240, and that'll give them a bit more space, and there's a few other bits going on, so stay tuned and keep watching. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to be getting all the gouramis, or trying to get all the gouramis out of this tank, move them over to that one. But before I do so, I've got to give the 240 a basic tidy up or whatever, like a quick water change. And then that one I might end up having to strip it down to be able to catch them, and I can refresh that tank as well, because that one needs a bit of a water change. And if I turn the camera around now, you'll see the mess that is in the tank from the cichlids anyway. So by emptying it out a bit, you can see down there they've used that area as a toilet. So I'm going to empty it out, be able to try and catch the gouramis to move them over to this tank, and then I can flatten the sand out, level it all out, and then they can do what they want again. Also, on another note, the dual cichlids in the 125 have had their third batch of fry. I'll add some footage in this as well, but basically what I've done is I've tried to save some of the fry. So I've got a 25 watt heater off one of my mates. The little nano tank that I did have over there and I would put up for sale still hasn't sold, so I've got that out, set it up, and I've managed to move some fry over. I haven't took all of the fry because I've left them with some to try and either parent or eat. Hopefully they'll parent them, but in the meantime, if anything does go wrong with those, I've got these ones that I can try and save. So I'm going to show you now what I've done. So the third batch that's in here has been dramatically reduced, even though there's still a load in there, so I'm going to leave them to gather them back up. But in this tank, you can see, not very well, but you can see all the specks. So I have got some of the fry out, but what I'm going to do, because I don't like looking down here and seeing, and I think that they're stuck or whatever, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the stones out so that they've got a bit more room to roam around, and then they've got the plants at the back if they need to, and I've even made a little DIY lid for it as well. Alright, so what I'm doing, because I don't want to catch or hurt any of the fry, is I'm just basically getting little handfuls of the stones and trying to avoid where the fry are, shaking it off in my hand first, and then moving the stones into a little bucket. So I'll come back once I finish doing this. Okay, so being as that's a bit temperamental, what I've done is I've took a few handfuls of the stones out, but as you can see now it's a bit more level so that they won't get stuck. You can see bits of the sand and stuff floating around as well. But if they want to hide in the stones, hopefully they don't get stuck in them. We'll have to just see. They're so tiny at the moment and there's loads of them in there. The last thing I want to do is catch them with a handful of stones. When I'm trying to save them, I end up killing them instead. Alright, so we're going to start off by getting our bucket down. And then we're going to use this one to put the water in, that one to put the ornaments in, and then we'll pour the water down our sink, which, as you know, goes all the way down and out the garage door. Woohoo! And then we have people knocking on the door saying, have you got a leak? So I'm going to get all these ornaments out first. You can see I don't know what that is underneath there, and then you got random stuff down there, which I can only assume is coming from the bristlenose, because he's the only fish that's in there. But we're going to get this emptied out now, and then we'll do the water change. Now while I'm emptying this, I'll tell you now, these may be amazing plants, they look beautiful, but my god, they don't have build some rubbish in them. So what you could possibly do, get like a cable tie or something, and you know the centre brace that you have in your tank, I don't know, that seems pretty cool. Have an upside down plant in your tank, that way you won't have so much rubbish like this getting stored in your plants. I might try that actually. And then just like that, all the ornaments are out. So all we got to do now is, as you can see, all the rubbish swirling around. Just got to give it a good water change and get the hot siphon. Got to get the siphon into it and give it a good water change. Right, so now that we've got this tank topped up, the sand's evened out and tidied up a bit, I've put a spray bar on that filter just because the flow was way too heavy. And now I'm trying to top that tank up while I sort this one out. We're going to try and do something a bit different and fresh. We've still got that stuff, but then out here we've got another 2 boxes worth of ornaments to try and use. All that stuff is staying in there. I'm not messing with that. I'm just going to tidy it all up.
20 minutes later.
And just like that, this tank is now done. As I said, I've done the idea of cable tying it to the top. We'll see how it goes. Got a few plants in there just to make it look pretty, some hides, but this, as I say, is just going to be for the gouramis, which will spend most of the time at the top anyway. Finished topping that tank up a bit. Can't do it too high because I've obviously got the outflows and they're not sealed, so that's okay for now. So we can close that lid again. So then now we've just got to carry on draining this tank out, empty all the contents out, and then try and catch the gouramis to move them over. Right, so a bit of progress made now. So we've got all the gouramis nicely in this tank. That was easier than I expected. Gouramis are fantastic. Then we've got the 5 parrots and the 4 JDs in here. The reason I've wanted to empty this out a bit is because not only did I feel it was too cramped, but I know these fish will grow a lot bigger, and I was fed up of seeing that tank completely empty. So now all the tanks are in use. But yeah, this tank now needs a bloody good clean, as you can see by the bottom of it. And then we can start putting all this lot back in. And the one convict that was in there, I've put into this tank, so we'll see how they get on. And I say that as we see rainbow shark being a bully. Alright, so you've seen that we finally got that done. Now if we walk over here, it's had as good as a 50% water change. You'll have to excuse the glare, I'll get better once the door's shut. But I've got the hose ready to start filling it up, and then we can have a look at it once it's finished. Right, so now that everything else is done, we're just waiting for this tank to fill up. The kids have decided they're going to help me. Loki with his new cushion. Where we got to get the water up to? And then when it gets to that sticker, what has Daddy got to do? That's right. And while we're waiting for that to happen, what have these lot got to do? What have they got to hit? You got to subscribe first, haven't they? So tell them, say subscribe and hit that bell. If you two look really closely in this little tank, what can you see?
Little fish.
Little fish?
Yeah.
Can you see some babies in there? Are they swimming? Look, there's lots of them, isn't there?
I can see some. Let me see.
Go on then, like, what was you going to say?
I can see some of these. And I
See lots of them in there.
And I can see the lots of them.
Right, now that's it. Get back onto your job.
Look at that.
That's it. Is it at the sticker yet?
No.
Loki do limbo? Yeah. Right, so now that that's finished, it's all topped up. Obviously we're a bit cloudy at the moment, so we just got to leave it to settle, let them do whatever it is they've got to do. And then while it warms up and settles, they'll just obviously stay hidden and then come back out when they're a bit more comfortable. But in the meantime, as I say, look at that. Gourami tank is looking pucker. I love watching this tank. You've got, come on, get some focus. So you got a massive batch of fry on that side, and you got a massive batch on that side. And from what I can roughly count, there's still about 10 in that tank with the parents. But these are amazing. And for those that pay attention, on the 5 foot, because of the fish that's in there and the size of the fish that's in there, as well as the turtle. Oh, look! The Plek is cleaning the turtle. Oh, that is so sweet. He's cleaning his shell. Oh, that is mint. I've never seen this before, let alone got it on video. Suppose that's one way to keep your shell nice and healthy. And he's loving it. Oh, fair play to him. See, who says that fish and turtles can't get along? Right, so as I was saying, in this tank, because of the size of him and the other fish that's in here, I've took a load of the plants out. I've got 2 of these convicts in here now, because I've took the one out of the Rena 400, but I've left this plant in purely because Mr. Bysher up here loves it. I think he was named Stephen. But yeah, so he loves that plant, so I've left it in there. But yeah, so far we're doing fantastic. Right, so that's us done in here for now. So what have they got to do?
Subscribe.
And
Hit that bell.
and then we'll heard it from the unicorn and the Loki.
Bye.
Right, so say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.